All right, lads, let's make it happen. So, conversation. It's something that we all know, or at least I hope we do. My good friend Merriam-Webster defines it as oral exchange of sentiments, observations, opinions, or ideas. Now, is that really all there is to it? Are these 8 words enough to define conversation? Well, clearly I don't think so, otherwise I wouldn't be yelling at you all right now. So, I think there's so much more to it than that, you know? It opens you up to a source of, it offers you a source of power, of inspiration. It opens up all sorts of different worlds to you, a world of friendship, a world of admiration, a world of love if you're lucky. Sometimes conversation can be a cage where you just want nothing more than the other person to stop talking so you can just end it. I think personally, conversation is the most beautiful thing in the world, hence why I'm talking to you about it right now. Why do you say that? Why do I say that? Because there's a lot of beautiful things, so that's a pretty bold claim to make. So the reason I think that is because it's a way for you to get to know somebody better, you know? Like, you get to delve into the mind of another person, learn about what made them who they are. And to me, that's just so cool, you know? This person is talking to you. They could be doing anything else. They could be pretending to study. They could be, I don't know, on their phone, dreaming about that girl they like. They could be doing literally anything else, but they're talking to you. They're talking to you, my guy, nobody else. So, for example, if you were to talk to me, you'd learn a lot. You'd learn I like video games a lot, hence why I like Pokemon. I even have my moral support Victini right here. One of my favorite games to play with friends, Super Smash Brothers. I love it so much. If you were to talk to me, you'd learn that my favorite character to play is Shulk, because in my mind, there's nothing quite like the feeling of throwing your friend off stage, turning towards them and screaming, "I'm really feeling it!" and then hearing the announcer yell, "Shulk wins." Nothing beats that feeling in my mind. Now, but most importantly, what you learn from talking to me is how much I value my friends, because they mean the world to me. It's these people that open my eyes to why conversation is so important. I wouldn't be who I am today without these people. Now, there was a brief moment in time after elementary school when I didn't really have any friends, because, you know, everyone's transitioning. It was a weird time. A lot of friend groups moved on. You made new ones, you lost old ones, and it took that time of no conversation to make me realize, like, man, I wish I had friends I could talk to and converse with. So, come high school, we're all mature enough to have serious conversations, and of course, I could cite several of these conversations as being influential, life-changing, and just being amazing, for lack of a better word. But there's one that always sticks out in my mind, one that always comes to mind first when I think of influential conversations. And one fateful day, a good friend of mine, someone I'd known for a long time, they told me, "Hey, I've got something to tell you," with a semi-serious tone. So I thought to myself, like, oh God, you know? Like, I immediately jumped to conclusions. Are they moving away? Am I gonna get murdered right now? What's gonna happen? Something important's gonna happen. So I didn't say any of this, of course. I kind of sat there and I waited patiently for them to say their bit. And what they ended up telling me was that they were transgender. This person that I had known for years, their gender that they identified as did not match the one on their birth certificate. And to be honest with you, prior to that moment, I knew what the transgender act or the transgender rights movement was, but I didn't really care that much. As sad as it is, because it's not affecting me. I didn't know anybody who was affecting, so I didn't pay it much mind. But then I had this conversation, and instantly my eyes opened, like, people are suffering. Someone I care about is suffering, and they're not the only one. And without that conversation, I would have never realized this. You know, it's up to me, it's up to everybody to make a world a more understanding and accepting place. Now, what better way to make the world a more understanding and accepting place than by, you know what I'm going to say, by talking to people, by conversing with them. So, if you don't believe me, I'm not the only one who thinks this. You can ask Sherry Turkle here. I don't recommend asking her right now because she's currently just a slide on a web show, but that's not important. Anyway, she is an MIT professor, sociology expert, and in her most recent book, Reclaiming Conversation, she's written many books about this topic. She talks about how technology and its evolution is making us have fewer conversations. Like, for example, Why go upstairs and say like, hey mom, what's for dinner, when you can send her a text like, yo mom, what's up for dinner, you know? Like, it's just so much more convenient. You don't have to show emotion through a screen. You can hide behind it. You don't have to make yourself vulnerable. You don't have to put yourself out there, because worst case scenario, you can be like, oh, Lamau, I didn't mean that. Just a text, right? You don't have to mean it. So what does this mean for us, you know? With fewer emotions, doesn't that lead to us just being unsatisfied? Now, I mean, I use the word unsatisfied, but the real word I should be using is depressing, because Johann Hari here, writer of the book Lost Connections, he cites depression as being cites lack of human interaction as being one of the main sources of depression, one of the main causes. He's a man who suffered from depression a very long time himself, so I'd like to think he's an expert on the topic, as well as interviewing several other experts on the topic. And it's a good point. I mean, with lack of human interaction, we're social creatures. We have to interact with each other. We have to converse. And without all that, like, what are we? You know, we're just single people looking for connection, and we can't do that. As long as things continue, we can't do that. So Snapchat, that's why this is here, is one of my, like, I know this is a TED Talk for the next 2 minutes-ish. It's going to be a TED rant. I hate this app. It's so terrible. And let me tell you why. By nature, it's supposed to discourage connection, because it immediately deletes everything you send. Of course, you can save it. You can go through and save it, but like, it still deletes it in the first place. You have to go through effort to actually maintain the conversations with these people. And the number of times I have both received and just seen people taking a picture of the floor, being like, here you go, taking a picture, like an out of focus, fuzzy shot of the floor, and then mashing through all of their contacts. Like, these people will totally want to see this, only for the reason that they want to maintain their streaks. That's stupid, in my opinion. So why do that when you can say to them, hey, like, are you doing all right? Like, what have you been doing recently? I want to know. I want to catch up, you know? Instead of just trying to send garbage for the sake of maintaining your precious streaks. Now, I don't want to tell you how to live your life. You can still text people. In fact, technology, I should be very clear with this. I'm not saying everyone set your phones on fire, throw them out the window, they're ruining your human connections, though that would be really cool to watch, all these flaming phones fly out the window. Irrelevant. Point is, technology can also, as long as it's used in moderation, technology can be used to further these bonds. A really good friend of mine, one of my best friends, he moved away to Florida, and we still talk nearly every day because of Sony's PlayStation 4, and we still hang out. We're still really good friends. So, well, I want to be very clear. Like I said, technology used in moderation is not ruining it, but overuse of it, over-relying on it, is putting a dent in our conversational skills. And in addition to that, it is scientifically proven, if you're having a conversation with someone and you're just constantly like looking on your phone, not really paying attention to them, that shows that your attention is divided. It's rude. Like, come on, don't do that. The person's trying to talk to you. Show them some attention. So if you do want to make your conversations a little bit more meaningful, prove yourself to be a pro conversationalist, because obviously me, the person up here, has every right to proclaim himself the pro conversationalist. But no, what I recommend doing is asking questions, because not only does that show that you care, it shows that you're interested, you're paying attention. Like, oh, you play soccer? What position do you play? You know, it shows that you're paying attention, you care. There's something special about that. And another very key aspect of conversation is realizing when you've been talking for too long, which is a point that I'm very quickly approaching as I stand up here talking to you people. So I just want to make sure the message is loud and clear. Conversation is what makes us human, you know? It gives us a chance to really make friends, make connections, make us feel like we made a mark on the world, you know? It's not something that we can just forget about and just scroll through Reddit looking at all the newest memes, you know? It means something. So I ask all of you, after we're done here, just turn your right or left, just give the person a warm look, give them a nice smile, and say like, hey, you want to talk? You want to be friends? Just strike up a meaningful conversation, not like, hey, how are you? Good, that's it. No, I mean an actual conversation. Maybe not even in here, just next class. Just say, hey, what's up? We haven't talked in a while. How are you doing? You know? stuff like that. So never forget the importance of human connections and the immense power of casual conversation. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's all she wrote.